Hi everyone, I'm AlyssaSMW, or just Alyssa, here to bring you this fantastic game. I'll let my commentary couch do most of my talking for me, but I'll let you all introduce yourselves.
Hello, I am Greg, or Gossip Greg. I also do speedruns of this game.
Hi, I'm Margot. I made this game, Smiley Face, over the course of a fugue state of a month in the summer of 2022.
Hi, I'm Shovda. I don't know why I'm here.
Anyways, I'll go ahead and get us going, and I don't know, we'll get started. Timer starts on 3. So 1, 2, and 3.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games.
So, Margot, what is this game?
So this game is... It's a couple different things. It's a Mario fan game about star power, and often seen as two-dimensional, but in fact very deep mechanic that is explored in various weird ways throughout the course of 6 levels. It is a thinly veiled homage / ripping off of several levels from another Mario fan game called Odd Sands by G-Breeze, Lazy, and Miracle Water. And it's really, really hard. Those are the 3 primary things that make up the recipe for Superstar.
I can confirm it is indeed a hard game.
Yeah. So incredibly hard. If anyone out there watching is familiar with any other really hard Mario games, Casio is one I always compare this game to, which was run by Cascade at a GDQ a long while ago. Every jump in this is so hard, and the game is made reasonable in difficulty and actually speedrun safe adjacent, given that there's shorter sections and frequent-ish checkpoints.
Yeah, about a month and a half before this came out, I released another game that is similarly difficult but has checkpoints much less frequently, and it is very not safe for marathons, and this one is reasonably okay by the standards of really difficult Mario. This level is called Defense Mechanisms. Maybe we should actually talk about the mechanic of this level now that Alyssa is halfway through. But basically, the idea is that sprites, when they die, can still interact with on-off switches, and the on-off switches control whether or not you have star power. So you're basically trying to figure out how to manipulate the status of both enemies and switches to lose or gain star power as necessary to progress through the level. And that last jump is so hard, and that is a very well-earned H. Yeah, this is making this look a lot easier than it is. I cannot overstate that. I would say this level usually takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours for really good players their first time through, so yeah, y'all can be the judge. And also this ending is one of the worst things I've ever made. I'm so sorry, but nice first try.
GG.
That took me so long to get casually. Those, like, just trying to hit one of the bullets and not the second one.
It's so hard. I think that's the hardest jump in the game, or at least like top 2 or 3.
I'll be honest, when I would do runs of this, I still don't know what my strat was. I just kind of guessed for that. Oh, hey, a new level.
This is battery not included. These batteries give you temporary star power. If you kill an enemy, it discharges your star power. It's got groovy Pokemon Mystery Dungeon music, you know, the full package.
Everything we would expect from a normal Margot level, right?
Very normal Margot things.
Yeah,
I could say to note, you also need to have star power in order to hit the switches as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, Margot, could you talk a little bit about how to insert things like those cans and all that into the fan game?
So most Mario fan games, weirdly not all these days, because crazy, prodigious coders are everywhere in this community. But most of them are made using a program called Lunar Magic, which is basically like a map editor. So like Celeste has a run coming up, and they have, Everest, which is like their loader, and they have their map editor. Lunar Magic is basically that for Super Mario World. And it has a bunch of stuff kind of built in, and then if you know how to code, you can make it do basically anything. Play the Bad Apple music video like we did at the last SGDQ.
I swear this is the easy part.
I mean, ain't that always the way? And also, none of the parts are easy. This Goomba jump is horrifying.
This is easy.
I was gonna say, in as far as there's an easy part in this game, sure, but this game's easiest tricks are wildly difficult.
Yeah, I think the only truly, quote-unquote, easy level is the last level, and it's only easy in the context of everything you had to do to get there, so it's meant to be a victory lap, and earning your victory lap is a chore.
While Alyssa is getting this obstacle to behave for her, do we have any donations maybe?
Absolutely. We got $10 from Melody, who says, "Let's go, Alyssa. You got this." Smiley face. We also have $50 from Stev, who says, "Pipe-tastic is kind of a cosmic gumbo. It almost moves to the beat of jazz." Thank you so much for those donations. And I do have an update on our Celeste Name Madeline incentive. We have a tie now. Trans Rights is tied for first place with, all right, give me a sec here. It's 3-0-34B4M or Enledam. That's Madeline backwards written in Leet speak. So that's a tie for first place. That's a mouthful. If we want to have our runner put that as a file name, that's awesome. That's tied for first place right now. We also have Mad Island is in third place, and then Trans Lefts is in fourth place.
Speaking of trans lefts, we're gonna have some of those coming up as soon as Alyssa's done with this level. Smiley face.
May I also offer up the name Trans Wrongs?
Ooh, I love some trans wrongs.
We do support
Can't
trans
forget
wrongs
those.
and trans rights.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out with this level and this whole game, by the way, is just how the aesthetics look. Margot is a genius at aesthetics. We're coming up at the end of the level here. I'll be quiet.
Nice.
There we go, G.
GG.
But
Nice.
just putting in those aesthetics is a lot of difficult work. Just want to say that.
Aw, shucks, thanks. I try. All right, so this is leftist propaganda. You'll get to see some of the leftist propaganda as she progresses through this level. And, feel free to donate according to what your favorite leftist propaganda is, chat.
The gimmick in this level is Mario has star power when facing left.
Which leads to some really funny things like having to walk and jump backwards to progress through obstacles that would otherwise kill you.
I was in Alyssa's stream yesterday while she was practicing, and she did admit this is her favorite level. I think she and I would both say, depending on if you asked us on different days, this is a strong contender for hardest level in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Having to do like all these small, like little taps of left to, get the vulnerability state or the star power state while still keeping your momentum is wildly difficult. I know I keep saying that. It is because there's so much in this game that's so hard.
It's hard to overstate how hard it is.
This is one of those classic pat your head and rub your stomach sort of levels, because you're not just doing the really hard Mario thing, you're also playing the meta game of remembering that you can only do certain things depending on what direction you're facing, which is not, it's not just that it's atypical for Mario games to do that, but it's that actively at high levels, you are prone to making a lot of like left-right micro adjustments while you're moving to like flesh out your movement a little more cleanly. And so not being able to do that because you literally need to be facing a specific direction makes the way you have to play this level like radically different than every other level in the game.
Yeah, and radically different than most other Mario levels any player will have played in their lives.
Yeah, did you make that font yourself, Margot?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I just want to point out the amount of work, by the way, hi wide bat.
I like that.
That goes into this, like every letter needs to be created in a program called YYCHR. I assume that's what you used. You have to make tiles with 2 letters per block in order to get them into the game, things like that. It is G.
Nice one shot?
Casual one shot on the final hardest section in that level.
Wow.
Easy peasy.
Easy every time.
Have time for another quick donation?
Absolutely.
We have $50 from Fen who says, SUPER, you're a superstar. You've got this, Alyssa. Oh yeah, trans rights, lesson 3.
We love you, Fane.
A reminder as well, if you're loving this 2D precision platforming, we have Celeste coming up later tonight, and we have a bonus 1B task. That's for level 1 B-side task with Uni. We need $2,000 for that by the end of Celeste coming up. You don't want to miss it. There's already some wild stuff you see in a normal Celeste speedrun. Imagine what you're going to see in a TAS speedrun. And Uni is an amazing TASer. It's going to be really fun to get to see her and hear everything that she has to say about it and watch this incredible TAS run. Get those donations in. Make sure to mark it towards the incentive if you want to see that.
Uni is like truly a legend in the Celeste community. Yeah, that run is like a can't miss. Everything Uni does is crazy. Just like, I think that Hard Mario is interesting and fascinating, and then we're pushing things, and then I see like upper level, like modded Celeste. I'm just like, nope, I got nothing. We are all neophytes in the great game of hard platforming.
We're doing our best with our 30-year-old platformer.
Squeezing every ounce of game out of this game we got.
That's more game per game, yeah.
More game per game for 3 decades. It should be noted here as we're yapping that Alyssa is crushing this level, and this level is really difficult. Also, say hi to Pink Bubblechan.
My favorite Mario sprite in the Margot extended universe of fan games.
Shoutouts to Wyatt, the creator of Casio, that very difficult game that our buddy Kez ran at SGDQ 2022 that Greg mentioned a while ago. This level itself is an homage to a level from a very famous fan game called Invictus, but this particular section is pure Casio nod. Anyone who has played that or seen that will remember and probably have PTSD about Pink Bubblechan, and I wanted to make her a little more speedy and a little bit easier in the process.
That was the easiest level in Casio, though.
Do you think so?
That's an opinion.
I two-shot the second half.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I wish I were good at SMW Lake Shove days. I'm not, though.
No one's as good at SMW Lake Shove days. That's sort of her whole deal.
That's true.
It's true.
Wow, maybe Alyssa is, who is running a game right now that we're watching and should be supportive of.
We are supportive of Alyssa, and she's out at the level. All right, so we've got the second easiest of the first 5 levels.
I'd agree with that.
To finish this off, this is Achilles' heel. You'll get the joke soon enough. Shoutouts to Morsel. This song is infamous for being the first song you hear in a level in a game called Storks and Apes and Crocodiles, which kind of changed the face of Kaizo fan games forever for the Mario community.
Yeah, other than perhaps Bonsai, it was one of the first, like, chocolatey fan games, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah, and chocolate in fan games is the use of custom mechanics put in through programs like Pixie or Gopher Popcorn Stew that are not in the original, as we call it, vanilla Super Mario World.
Yeah, Morsel sort of redefined what a lot of people thought Kaizo games were supposed to be about. I would say that Storks, at least in my mind, is sort of like the beginning of like a new school wave of Kaizo that separated itself from like the more purely vanilla, what we now lovingly refer to as boomer Kaizo of back in the day. Morsel kind of like took the formula and sped it all up and made it a bit glossier and flashier and more cerebral. And I feel like you've kind of seen like two very distinct camps emerge as a result of like a pre-Storks world and a post-Storks world.
Yeah. Morsel was like, I don't make levels, so the other folks would be able to give like kind of their own, probably more informed take, but from me as just a player, Morsel was like 5 years ahead of his time. Like, and it just
absolutely
that long to catch up.
Cape.
Ah. All right, we get more cape.
We are Cape sickos here.
I'm a fan of Cape.
There is also a, speaking of two distinct camps, there is Cape and no Cape, and Cape is better.
Yeah, one of those is the correct answer, actually.
There is an objectively correct answer, yes, and it is Cape.
We got some more love coming in for the donations whenever you have a chance.
Absolutely.
We got $25 from Anonymous, who says, love you all. And then we have $25 from Dire Dachshund, who says, trans rights. And then an update on that bonus level 1 B-side task for Celeste. We're now at $55 out of 2,000 needed. Thanks for those donations towards that incentive. And maybe, can we get a trans rights donation train, $5 donation train for that bonus 1B task? Let's see if we can hit $1,000 by the end of this run, y'all. Let's do it.
So fun fact, if you ground pound with the cape there at the end, right before the checkpoint or the goal, you kill yourself.
It's a really funny troll. That
I did that on my first casual run.
A lot of people did that in their first casual run, in your defense.
So this level has, I think, my favorite custom gimmick. Also, you beat the first 5 levels in anywhere you want, then you get this bonus level, and then we get a really funny gimmick.
Yeah, this is Per Aspera ad Astra. You know, like the Star Trek thing. If you have star power, you can spin. If you don't, you can't. And if you have star power, then your spin makes you go Noom. So we're going to be Newman through this little victory lap at the end of the hard gauntlet of those first 5 levels.
Like I mentioned before, you can play the first 5 in any order. So if you're doing speed runs of this, you can, be a little bit tactical and say, do what Alyssa did and start with the hardest level. Or like if you're feeling good or bad about a particular level, you can shuffle the order up, like if you're trying to get a good PB. But this level being at the end of the run, even though it's easier, is also a little bit more nerve-wracking, especially if you're on like a really good pace.
It's also like 3 times as long as all the other levels, so, no pressure.
So what inspired this gimmick?
That's a really good question. I don't know if I had any specific inspiration from another fan game for the gimmick, but the aesthetic of the level and the music of the level was inspired by the Tower of Babel from Nachos and Fried Oreos by G-Breeze and Miracle Water. I kind of wanted to Kaizoify that aesthetic. And then, I don't know, I think I figured out how to code this and it made me laugh. And I was just like, yeah, we can make this work. We can build a level around it. And then I made the longest level in the hat because I was having too much fun.
Nice.
Again, referencing back to that made in a few weeks whilst in a fugue state.
I can make this one
was
hard
a time.
jump.
Also worth mentioning that this was like the third of 3 fan games Margot released in a 3-month span. In like, yeah, just 3 months back to back. And it will take people sometimes, 2 or more years to make one of these. And Margot just cranked them out.
I mean, I guess it was technically Project 4 of 4 if you count Thwimple.
Yeah.
But I was a very small part of that, so...
Did you know we consider doing 3 hacks in 3 months a quarter of a Lush 50?
It's a little inside baseball for the true believers in chat right now.
Yeah, my apologies to everybody else.
We have $25 from Blue Ribbon High Life, who says, I remember having this EP taped for me on a cassette that I wore out playing in my old Subaru Outback. So excited to see Alyssa crush it on the Fatales stage. Such a great run and runner. And we're getting some donations coming in for that bonus level 1 B-side task. We're at $160 now out of the 2,000 needed. That's awesome. Let's keep it coming. We have until Celeste, the end of Celeste, which is our next speed run, so not that far away. Let's keep those donations coming in. We love to see it. Put those donations towards the bonus 1B task.
Shout out once again to Widebat. Would someone be able to explain the lore of Widebat? I don't quite know the origins.
So, I mean, from the horse's mouth as the woman who made the Widebat. Maddie initially, when we were working on Sure Shot, had this extremely cursed, long, naked Koopa that was meant to be like a double-wide stationary swooper bat. And I hated the graphics so much. They gave me nightmares, and I asked if we could change them. And she said yes, and I made like conjoined twin bats that were like conjoined at the middle wing. And she was like, that's a little weird, can we just make a wide bat instead? And thus was our beautiful trans icon wide bat born.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that it was like an active service for the community. That's incredible.
Speaking of trans icons, we have some tickets coming in for that trans rights train. We have $50 from Call Me To in Me Rose, who says trans rights times 10. Thank you for that. And we also have $5 from Jack, who says trans rights. Thank you so much for those donations.
So something that should be noted, I know we mentioned earlier that this was sort of a coding experiment for me in a lot of ways as a game, to teach myself some things about assembly. Well, it turns out your girl is still not very good at coding, so there's a funny little glitch that really only comes into play in this vertical section and the boss at the end of this level. But if you press jump on the first 2 frames that you're landing on the ground while you have star power in your super spin, you can just maintain it because it's set to basically nullify that you have the power up when you land, but there's a little tiny built-in like frame delay in Super Mario World, and you can exploit that to just keep your spin jump forever and ever, which is going to let us do some very funny things with the Reznor coming up at the end of this little final climb.
Yeah, that's this being a Kaizo Super Mario game, like there isn't much in the way of speed strats, but there is, like Margot was saying, this glorious speed skip here at the very end.
Which timing is on the final Reznor hit. Time.
GG.
Time. GG.
Amazing.
What a good run.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Thank you. I try.
You succeed. Great job, Alyssa.
Well, thank you for the phenomenal game in the first place. I guess I'll let this run for a minute. I know we did get that bonus incentive run.
We sure did.
I don't know whenever we want to jump directly to that, or if there's anything for y'all on the back ends.
whenever you're ready to get that set up for Pipe-tastic, y'all donated for it. We're going to see it. So excited to see it. In the meantime, we'll get that set up. We have $20 from White Bat, who says, "Hi, it's me, White Bat." Thank you for that donation. We also have $50 from Spirit, who says, "Celeste is my favorite speedrunning game. I'd love to see even more. Trans rights." Celeste is coming up next, right after our Pipe-tastic bonus incentive that's coming up right now. And again, we're working for that bonus level 1B task. We're at $165. We need 2,000 by the end of that Celeste run. It's going to go by quick, so make sure you get those donations in now. Put it towards that incentive, and if you want to see it.
Well, I am ready. I'd say this is also another fantastic